In this video, I will introduce functions to you. You all know functions. They are a basic element of R, right? We use mean or summary function. Most things that we do with data in R are actually based on functions that already exist. Either they exist in base R and they come with the software, or users have written them and saved them as packages that we load in the beginning of write a class, or when we do some fancy analysis, we first install a package and load it. This is basically a set of functions that somebody wrote. You can write your own functions in R, which makes it a very powerful programming language rather than just an analysis to analyze data. You can really customize it, use it for very particular problems, right? And today I will just scratch the surface really and just the tip of the iceberg, just to show you what the basic intuition and concept is behind function, how they work generally. And then if you are intrigued by this, you can go way further and apply them to your own problems. All right. So basic function works that you have an input, and then you have what's called a body, a kind of a black box where the input is being processed. You do something with that input, and then you have an output. So imagine my input is just the number 1, and my function is multiply by 3. Okay? Then my input goes in, I multiply by 3, the output would be 3. That's all the function is, right? But we define this function, it appears here called min-max norm. Okay? And now we're going to apply it to our data set. Let's take grades 1 data set again, and we're going to select only the grades in year 2010. We're going to filter to only available observations, all right? And save that in grades 5. Let's check grades 5. Here we are, only the year 2010. We have like 9 fewer observations because we kicked the missings out. All right, and then we use a pipe operator again and now call the min-max norm with empty brackets, which basically means apply this function to whatever is currently loaded, right? Which is the grades 1 data set with mutations. All right, you run that, save it in grade 5. And here are our normalized values for the grades. They're all between 0 and 1 now, okay? All right. We can also combine this with sort of in a cross loop here. Let's see how that works. Again, we save the grade 6 data frame based on grades 1. We drop all values, all rows that are not available, and we use the mutate function across all the columns, and then within the cross function we insert our min-max norm function, right? So it's a function within a function in a way. All right, let's run that, grade 6, and again, see here, now all columns are min-max normalized, meaning that they now, instead of having values between 1 to 6, they have values between 0 and 1. This is the basic idea of functions. You use them when you have to do many steps, right, based on the same input, and you want to tie it together in one new function, right? Or you want to do something that isn't really there pre-packaged by something that somebody else has already written or that comes with R, right? And that you want to do all over again, something very common in your analysis that you do that requires a lot of code. You can wrap it into your own function and apply it more easily. Admittedly, functions are not very common for normal data analysis, right? When I run my basic descriptive or even sort of inferential statistics, all the functions are already there, right? They've already been written, they're pretty standard, so I don't write my own functions often. But it is something that data scientists and actual programmers do quite a bit because their problems are a little bit more unique or can be more unique. So, well, I hope I made you a little curious, and if you run into more complex problems or you realize that you're repeating a lot of the same steps over and over based on similar input, maybe functions are for you and you can try to apply them to your own problems.